Go. So you see your right elbow motion here.
Yeah.
Elbow is going
Oh,
high,
no,
high
I
up here.
know.
That means
I know.
you're going to use the arms on the way down.
Okay.
So in the backswing, you are lifting flexing the lead knee a little bit, and the right leg is fairly straightened. This is okay, but essentially you are lifting the arms and club up using the arms, right? So this gives a slight crossover alignment.
Right.
And on the way down, you're pulling the handle down hard. Again, it's arm-driven downswing here. So what happens is at the end, when you lift your arm, that means you are making a strong statement that on the way down, you are going to use the arm at the beginning.
Yeah, the legs. So I figured
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
the guy to talk.
So, and then on the way down, the swing plane becomes steep because you're pulling the handle down. So always the center of mass is somewhere close to the head, but it's between the hand and the club head. So when you pull the handle down hard, then the head goes up. So it's moving away from your body. And then when this happens, automatically you have a steep downswing plane here. Yeah, from this position, you see how the club head is moving. The club head pad here. Behind the head here is going high up and then coming down here. And then with this steep swing plane, your club head pad is in to out, as you can see in the image there. The club head is moving outward. The face is also open. So unless you have a draw spin, the ball will go straight. Okay, so yeah. So the thing is, you're lifting the right arm quite high. From there, you're just pulling the handle down. Now, so in other words, you have to suppress the arm motion at the beginning, or you should not lift the arm too much. I mean, if you want to move more toward the body-driven swing, then you have to lift the elbow less,
Yeah.
and then have a less, crossover alignment. And also on the way down, you have to refrain from pulling the handle down. So, and now go to the rear view here. Go. It almost looks like you have good amount of force on the lead side here.
Yeah, well, now I'm working on it.
So up to this point, the motion is still fairly continuous here to this position here, right? But at the end, suddenly, so you go up to this point and suddenly lift this here.
Yes.
So you have two-stage motion. It's not directly going to this position, but rather go up here, and for some reason, toward the end, you are lifting this.
Yeah, it's my timing mechanism.
Yeah.
My DNA. Yeah.
So when you lift the elbow, then automatically the club head goes this way
way.
here. So it gives a crossover alignment. Yeah. So this is an interesting motion component here. Go up to this point. I mean, you can keep it about here. This is okay. But you're going a bit more to use your arm. But as you can see, when you start the downswing, see how high the club head goes. When the club head goes high up here, that means it's moving away from your body early. Then it's hard to generate enough speed. So you have to keep the club closer to the body, come down here. Then later you have to let it go. But because you are letting it go early, it's hard to generate speed. Initially, it may have higher speed, but than typical. But you will not be able to increase the speed that much on the way down. So from this position, when you start the downswing, instead of pitching this up, if you draw a sword from the sheath, have the feel of drawing a sword from the sheath, then you will be able to keep the club close to the body a bit longer. But because you go high up here and then you are pitching it up, that's why it's moving away from your body. And then you have a fairly steep downswing plane here. Yeah, this is the killer motion here, this motion here. When the club head is moving away from the body, when you pitch this up, and eventually it'll promote this chicken wing posture at impact, because it's moving away from your body early. If you keep going this way, and you will hit the ground really hard.
Yes.
You're letting the club head go away from your body and then swing down, you will hit the ground hard.
Right.
In order to avoid, you have to pull this in.
Right. Yeah.
And then automatically you go to a chicken wing position here, right? And on the way down, if you can draw a sword from the sheath here, coming this way here, then let the club head go.
Okay.
Actually, you have a wide arc on this side.
Okay.
Instead of
on this
making
side.
large arc on this side here.
Gotcha.
So in the backswing, you have a large arc on this side here. But in the downswing, you have a large arc on this side. And then here, the main thing is to develop sufficient speed without putting a lot of effort. But if you let the club go away from your body from the beginning, then it's hard because the mechanical concept involved in this is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is the measure of inertia in the rotational motion. And then one thing really important in terms of moment of inertia is the mass distribution about the axis rotation. So if the axis rotation is here, this is a swing plane here, this is the axis rotation, everything is rotating around this axis here.
Right.
And then if the club stays close to the body, then you have overall smaller moment of inertia of the body. If the club moves away, then the moment of inertia increases quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And then if you generate a similar amount of torque using the ground, okay, the angular acceleration, rotational acceleration depends on the torque you generate, and it's inversely proportional to the moment of inertia.
Yeah.
So if you have a large moment of inertia, then you end up with a smaller rotational acceleration. Then you cannot rotate fast
enough.
if you keep things away from your body.
Yes.
So more than anything in the rotational motion, through rotational motion, if you want to generate the faster speed of the end point, which is basically a golf swing, right? In that case, you have to keep the last segment of the system, which is the club, closer to the body initially, and accelerate the body early on, then let the club go.
Gotcha.
Then your body will slow down later,
Speed, yeah.
but your club will keep accelerating. So one thing you have to avoid is even if you go to this position here, instead of pitching this up, swing this way, draw the sword, and then let it go. And for that, you should be able to use the wrist and forearm well here. Mm-hmm. When you have this motion here, you are activating the wrist muscles early and then let it go this way.
Right.
But instead, bring this down and then you have to use this motion here.
Right. More rotational.
Yeah, that's called the pronation of the
pronation,
forearm.
Yeah, and this one.
And this is supination here.
Yeah.
So in order to use pronation and supination well here, actually pronation and supination gives a good amount of range of motion here, from here to here. If you just introduce pronation and supination here alone, you see how much the club head moves. So this motion is really important in generating the speed.
Yeah.
And actually, when you delay the release, so when you keep the club close to the body, the later when you let it go, big portion of it is coming from the pronation supination motion here, instead of this motion here, instead of this wrist motion here. Mm-hmm. So here, when you use the wrist here, then you feel it's stuck here, as if there's a barrier here. You cannot go any further here, so you can immediately feel it. So what happens is you just let it go early here.
And that's why sometimes that club head down here flips.
So when you have this motion, then you can feel that on the way down, and then when you try to introduce this motion, the arm cannot go further, and then it's stuck here. But when you use this supination motion here, then club head will keep moving nicely around. Yeah. So this motion is really important.
Yeah.
And for that, instead of letting it go early, you have to just drop it here and then use this motion here. Okay? So that way, actually, bigger muscles are involved here than this one here. And sometimes we have an elbow problem. It's because of this motion, both in tennis and golf. But so even if you go this high here, this is okay. But on the way down, try to bring this close to your body and then let it go. Okay? So instead of pitching it up early. So now,